kind of basically glosses over, could Noble Six have survived with, well, this is what Master Chief would do. And he goes on to make all these unvalid points. So, the very first thing I want to touch on is Noble Six and Master Chief. Okay, the whole Noble Six team, there's Noble 1, Noble 2, Noble 3, Noble 4, Noble 5, Noble 6. Noble 1, that's the guy's literally like the number one Spartan when it comes to leadership and getting a team to work together and those type of skills. You know, Email, I believe, was Noble 3, and he's the best at stealth and assassination and takedowns and sabotage and that sort of thing. George, if I remember correctly, was Noble 2. George is the best at, well, heavy weapons and those type of operations, defending points, holding points, breaking through defenses and things, and that would just that come with his natural size. He's a big man. He's such a big dude that as a Spartan, he towers over other Spartans. Okay, he's just got that physical prowess like that. And then, we got Kat. She's overall the best tech person. She hacks into things. She gets into things that even the USNC thinks that she can't get into. She knows what's going on at all times because her hacking ability is just up there. If she had been on the installation, she probably would have hacked it. Like just straight out the gate, she would have hacked it. She would have absolutely taken control of the Halo ring. She would have had no problems doing that. She's been shown to not only hack the USNC things, but and to get things back up and running. Technical aspects, but also hack like Covenant things, get into their data network. Just brilliant mind in that regard. Then there's Noble 5, and we don't really get to see much of him. You see him like briefly in one part, and you do like one stealth mission where you're kind of following around the beginning, and then it gets into combat and everything. But he's the best in terms of reconnaissance and sniping. That's his whole thing. That's what he's really good at. And so Noble Six, what is Noble Six? He's the best all arounder. He's number one at being all around good at everything. And so that's where Noble Six comes in. He's not as good as Kat. He's not good as George or Emile or Noble Five or Noble One. He's not as good at them as those things. But the overall picture, he's the best. Now, he's the good all arounder, but then there's people like Master Chief. And Master Chief, he was selected by Cortana. Cortana's AI, this is a little probably maybe creepy or depraved, depending on how you look at this. Cortana's AI and the way she looks is based off of Dr. Halsey. Dr. Halsey is John's mother. So, to have an AI construct that's basically a sexualized version of your mother in your head at all times, that's a little fucking weird. But anyways, Cortana selects Master Chief or John 117 because he's the second best at everything. Now, he's the second best at leadership. So he's better than Noble Six at leadership. Okay, he's the second best at, hacking, he's second best at everything. And he's the second best all arounder. He's not as good at being an all rounder as Noble Six is, but he is better in other areas. He's better at sniping, he's better at stealth, he's better at assassination, he's better at breaking through barricades and defending points, he's better at being a leader. And these are not things that are coincidence. This is data the USNC gathered from, not just their Spartan programs, their training. They're training, they're analyzing and examining each Spartan, 24/7 around the clock. But while this is going on, you know, they're sending these Spartans on missions, and they're intentionally sending Spartans on missions to stress test them to see if they can handle something above and beyond what they do. And Noble 6 members, the Noble team members, they have gone on these missions and come back from every single one. And Noble 6, the original, well, he got killed and they need replacement, so they pick a guy who is a really great all arounder, and this guy's got kind of a problem for being a little bit of a lone wolf, or he did so in the past. But that's kind of what happens when you're the best at being all around better in every area. And of course you go and play through the game and everything. And this guy, he does the exact job of an all arounder. Is he's with the team leader when it comes to leadership roles. He's with, Kat when something needs to be hacked and broken into. He's with George when, something needs to be broken into or defended. He's with these people as they do the things that they are really excellent at. He's with Email, and the goal is to stealthily sneak an AI aboard a ship and also, assassinate a couple characters. He does all these things, and he's always there when they need an objective done by a specific person. He's the secondary support. That's his job. Now, Master Chief being the second best at everything, that's not a mistake. That's not an accident. Here's the thing: is you can be a great all-rounder, a jack of all trades, so to speak, but a master of none. And if somebody's second best at this one thing, they're going to be better than you. That's just how it goes. And the other people being number one, well, they're going to be better at those things, but then they're not going to be as flexible as you are at other things. So Noble 6 is a jack of all trades, and he's the best at being a jack of all trades. Master Chief, he's kind of good at being a jack of all trades, and then when it comes to specific areas, he's just a little bit better than Noble 6 was in those areas. That's why Cortana selected him. So here's the thing we look at now: the battlefield in which Noble 6 is basically left to fight and die on. First of all, Reach is going to be glassed. Okay, the Covenant have already decided that they have destroyed all the transports, and the ones that they haven't have already gotten away. They're not going to bother chasing those. They know that there are hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people on this planet still. And they don't care. They're just going to glass the whole thing. And they're going to destroy this whole planet and everything. In the same way, other Sith Lords have glass planets, like, with and it's a one-to-one comparison: the Covenant glassing a planet and the Sith Lords glassing a planet. It really is. If you understand Star Wars, you know what I'm talking about. It's just like when Terrace got glassed. Basically, it's like they had ground forces on the ground still, but they still glassed the planet anyways, just because they wanted to kill one Jedi, Bastila. Whatever. Now, here's the other thing: is why would they even bother glassing the planet if they have everybody trapped? They could have, prison colony. They could have, they're known to take prisoners. They're known to take slaves. They're known to do these things. They could have done any of that. And it's very an important distinction. And it's that they wanted to set an example to humanity and everyone else in the known wide space by just absolutely annihilating one planet. Was it necessary? No. Tatooine being a sandy shithole, it used to be a tropical paradise. That was because the Sith fucking glassed it. Was it necessary? No, it was probably a really good vacation spot, you know. And that was the Tarkatan Empire, by the way, if you want to know what Sith I'm talking about. And Tarkatans, they were Sith before Sith. Calling them Sith is not inaccurate. Anyways, they're going to glass reach. They're going to destroy everything, but they still have ground troops on board. And they know that they just sent this really big ass amazing cruiser and that George and Noble Six blew it up. So they're a little pissed off about that. So they want to make an example of his ass too. Okay, and here's the thing, Noble Six is trapped on this planet. If he goes and runs and hides in a bunker or something, he's still gonna die. It doesn't matter. Jesus Christ, my allergies are killing me. It does not matter. They're gonna glass the whole planet. They're gonna destroy everything. He's gonna die no matter what. The final objective of the mission is survive. So what way could he survive in this scenario, where no matter how far he goes in the ground, he's gonna die? Because I really doubt there's any bunkers that are gonna survive an entire planet being glassed. The Covenant, unlike Sith Lords, Sith Lords are aggressive and they're destructive, but they're sloppy. The Covenant, they're a little more cool-headed. They get angry every once in a while, and they do some crazy things like glass an entire planet the size of Saturn, like Reach. But they're very, very thorough, and that's why they're so damn good. They have extremely advanced technology, and they're really thorough. Their tactics are not ingenuitive or creative, they're very simple and basic, and humanity's tactics are very extreme and complex. Humanity has a leg up in terms of tactics, but in terms of technology, no. And so the Covenant have a better technology. They literally have leftovers from the Forerunners. And they also have a very distinct and unique thing in that they have enough time, resources, and energy to be as thorough as possible. And they do that without fail. And so the Covenant coming to your planet is usually a death sentence. It's usually like you are going to be exterminated. End of story. Humanity running planet to planet and collecting all these different plants in their collective is because they know that the moment the Covenant catch up, they're pretty much done. With that in mind, there's no way Noble Six is going to survive in a hidden bunker. The likelihood is so slim, it's next to nothing. Okay. And I say the likelihood because this is like a level of destruction comparable to Alderaan. Okay. Now, did anybody survive Alderaan, by the way? No. However, a piece of Frick, a container of Frick survived that had the Death Star plans. And that's in Legends, and in canon lore it's completely different. But that box of Frick, actually no, it's not different in actual canon, because there's two parts of the Death Star plans, and one of them was on Alderaan in a box of Frick. Anywho, these guys that get out there, they're set to destroy, and the Covenant are leaving. And there's only one place to go because all the transports that could have taken Noble Six have left. They're gone. There's no more. And now we're at a point where the only transports that are around are the Covenant transports. None of them can travel deep space because they're all designed to go into Covenant main cruisers and things. And going into those is just another death sentence. That's just a much more prolonged death sentence in the form of torture and imprisonment and other things. So Noble Six is not going to surrender. He's already got that set in his mind. He's not going to go hide in a bunker because he's going to die anyways. Okay. And at this time, it's probably like 30 minutes at most before they glass the entire planet. Uh, so he's already out in an open military base in an open field somewhere. He can't really just, hop in a vehicle and even drive to a bunker or a cave. Because by the time he even gets to like the mouth of one or the entrance of a military bunker, he's probably going to be killed. He knows that no matter where he goes, he's going to die. And that he doesn't even have time to go anywhere. And he's looking up in the sky and he sees the fucking ship that's going to glass the entire planet. He can literally see it. It's so close that it's blacking out the fucking sky. Okay. He's accepted this death that's coming. So what does he do? He stands up on the platform because here's the thing. There's one thing he can do, and this is probably the only thing he can do. He can stand where the Covenant can see him. And the Covenant are so fucking hell-bent on sending a message, and he knows this, that even though they're about to glass the entire planet and kill him anyways, they're going to send their best soldiers to come and kill him. Soldiers that were normally leaving on transport. They're going to turn those fucking transports around to come down just to make sure he's fucking dead. Because they know who he is, what he represents, and what he does. And they've already killed most of Noble Six. In fact, they think they've killed Emal. Emal actually gets off-world. Emal's stealthy. Even being half dead, he manages to get off planet. That's incredible. Too bad Emal never came back for Noble Six. That would have been cool. But he comes back. All these guys, they come back, they turn around because they go, oh, there's Noble Six just fucking standing there like he's like the world's biggest Chad. Okay. Noble Six is basically issuing this non-verbal challenge by standing there like, fuck you, I'm still alive. So they turn these transports around, they send their absolute best to come and finish off Noble Six. And they were about to glass the entire planet, and they probably would have finished in about 30 minutes. They have that ship looming overhead. What do when they realize Noble Six is still alive? They wait for him to die, because Noble Six at this time is the last known living member of Noble Team, and Master Chief really isn't a symbol of humanity yet. He's not this heroic savior that humanity thinks of. I mean, in like the feeds and the video of like news and everything for humanity, who do they see fighting the Covenant? Who do they see fighting along the ODSTs? Who do they see that survived blowing up one of the largest ships that at this point the USNC has successfully destroyed? Who do they see, gunfighting in space? They see Noble Six. He's basically the last living symbol of humanity at this point. There's things where he's literally running around the city helping civilians escape. Like he's it's great too, because there's actually like I want to say whichever game that they had the Spartan Mark IVs, there's like a small commercial, and it's basically like a Noble Six running around saving humans. Okay. He's such a symbol that even in Master Chief's time, he's still kind of a symbol of humanity. Something that people are like, you mean I could become a Spartan just like that guy? Oh, sign me up. Even well beyond his death, he's still kind of a symbol. So the Covenant, they're coming down to make an example out of him. And they're thinking that by sending an overwhelming force of their absolute best that they can overwhelm him and that they can just kind of snuff him out like a candle, just real quick, and just exterminate this example, because they really want to destroy the symbol, what he represents. And they're getting ready to glass the plant, but they want to make sure that this is done. And what happens is Noble Six goes on an absolute rampage, because he's the best all-arounder. He's got everything he needs to make a epic fucking last stand in terms of skills. And he absolutely does. He absolutely, in open fucking ground, in every disadvantage possible, in numbers disadvantage, in every absolute respect, the Covenant are watching, and humanity at this point is watching this lone Spartan take on a fucking entire army. Does he eventually inevitably die? Yes. But he's doing two things. One, he knows the Covenant are going to come and try to snuff out everything that he is. And he knows he's going to die anyways. So it doesn't really matter. But two, well, just like how they want to snuff him out to make an example, he wants to make an epic final stand to make an example. Because he knows he's not going to survive. He just knows, logic and facts and the likelihood. So, no, you can't survive Reach. Unless 343 makes a game where it follows Noble Six and he did survive and they have some kind of reason how. And at the end of the game, he even takes off his helmet, because he reaches a point where he knows he's going to die. He takes off his helmet, or his helmet gets knocked off, I don't remember. But that's like the end. And then his helmet, too, is like later in a museum. So people went all the way back to a dead fucking planet to collect his helmet, because they know it fell off, and put it in a museum. It's still a huge symbol of, like USNC resistance, okay? Guy kind of overcame all odds. And his predecessor fucking died way before Reach. His predecessor died fighting human militias, okay? He didn't die fighting the Covenant, okay? So he almost succeeded against the Covenant and almost came scot-free of it. This was like kind of a big deal that Reach even happened. To the Covenant, it was like this landmark. This was like, it was just another victory of many. But to humanity, this was an instance of the Covenant came to play. The Covenant came to basically finish everything off, and they failed. And this takes place right before Halo 1, okay? The Covenant failing at Reach is what led up to Halo 1, and Halo 1 is basically humanity's first solid victory. With all of that in mind, what happens if we take Master Chief and we put him in Noble Six's shoes? Something that people tend to do, like this jackass YouTuber who made a 1 minute short. Well, let's see. If he goes and he runs and hides, the Covenant doesn't know that he's there. They're getting ready to glass the entire planet. Okay, they're not getting ready to, come down and fight. That's not a thing. They're hopping in transports and they're leaving. So if he hides and they don't know he's there, they're gonna glass the planet and he's gonna die anyways. Now, did some people survive in a bunker and everything with Halsey and all that? Yes, they did, but, well, Noble Six was cut off from them. So assuming Master Chief is in the same scenario where he's cut off from these people, he's going to die the same way. The planet's going to be glassed and he's going to be cooked alive. Here's the other thing. Being stabbed by the energy sword versus being cooked alive, I think I would choose being stabbed by an energy sword. It's a lot faster and a lot less painful of a death. As painful as a death that might be, and you can look badass while it happens, while being cooked in alive. Like, that's a death reserved for a lobster. Okay, that's that's wimpy. That's wimpy, and that's also probably the most painful thing overall. You know. So, with that in mind, obviously Master Chief has to show himself, because otherwise they're just going to cook him alive. Now, here's the other thing. Could Noble Six have surrendered to the Covenant? That really wouldn't be a preferable way to die. However, yeah, he probably could have. Maybe. That's debatable, because at this point they're so ready to kill the person who did this thing that he might not have been able to surrender. They might not have fucking allowed him to surrender. They might have just dispatched him. So with Master Chief and everything, he's not really known as the demon yet. Okay, he's there and everything, and the Covenant, let's say they calm down and everything, they might have taken him prisoner. That's not a preferable thing, because the prisoners of that time did not survive. None of them did. None of them are around. You never see any of them in Halo 1. Okay, it's not a thing. The other thing is, I don't think, like with Halo, with the Covenant and everything, I don't think going to a Covenant slave colony is preferable either. And here's the other thing is, you have, the brutes who literally cook humans alive and eat them like chicken nuggets. Just rip a human leg off and eat like a fucking drumstick. So, yeah, that's not really preferable, is it? So there's that. Could he have snuck aboard one of the Covenant ships and hid forever? No. Just straight up no. The technology that allowed the USNC to hide from the Covenant didn't come around until Halo 2. So scanners and advanced alien technology would have picked him up long before he could have successfully hidden. The other thing, Master Chief, okay, he survives the events of Halo 1. He's really good. He's notably good. He could have been Noble Six if Noble Six hadn't just been better than him. Like, if he hadn't existed, like, Master Chief would have been the new Noble Six. Okay, so he is really good, right? But here's the thing, Master Chief, he's not that experienced yet. Noble Six is way more experienced than him. Okay, at this point in time. So I don't think Master Chief would have lasted as long as Noble Six. And I don't think he would have been the absolute beast he was. Now, during Halo Reach, he was really good. And during Halo 1, he got his much needed experience fighting the Covenant. He was really, really good. And he also almost got, killed. He got humbled real fast, too. Because Master Chief, before encountering, before the events of Halo 1, he wasn't the most humble guy. Okay. And what really humbled him was Sangheili, just regular ass Covenant elite. Okay, regular ass one, not their version of special forces, not any of those things. No, just regular trooper. Nearly fucking killed Master Chief. Nearly gutted him like a fish. Okay. Master Chief learned from that a very valuable lesson of, you're not going to win against a Sangheili in an open melee. You're not. And that was the other thing, is a regular ass Sangheili. This wasn't the Arbiter, okay? This was a regular ass dude. This wasn't one of the gold armor ones. This wasn't one of the red armor ones. This wasn't anybody special. This was a fucking nobody. But this guy, he ran Master Chief, and he's like, well, fuck having a 10-minute firefight. He probably could have had a 10-minute firefight and possibly won. He's like, fuck that. Let's just disarm this dude and create an open melee. And Master Chief at this time was like, I'm gonna charge in and enter in the firefight without really having a plan. And he narrowly fucking dies. He narrowly wins. Not really a victory. Okay. So here's the thing: in Halo 1, he gets humbled. That's an important thing. And that humility serves him a long way. And he survives the events of Halo 1. He becomes a force to be reckoned with, because now he has experience and he's humbled and he's better. Halo 2, he's like, in Halo 1, they started calling him the demon. In Halo 2, everyone in the Covenant is calling him the demon because he's a much better Spartan than he was before. And now he's just this force to be reckoned with. Okay, they're telling ghost stories of him being the monster of fucking man and machine. Okay, like they are telling stories about him the same way they're telling stories about the goddamn Doomslayer. Except Doomslayer would absolutely murder Master Chief. Now, this in mind, with Master Chief the way he is at that point, absolutely a nightmare. Okay, and Master Chief, at this point, he's smart enough not to fight, the Covenant in open field and everything. He's tactical, he's smart, and he's real slick about things. During Halo Reach, he's none of these things. He's good at everything, and he has the ability to be the guy he is in Halo 2, but he doesn't have the experience, and he's a little cocky, and he's young, he's fresh out the market Spartan, and he's also not really prepared to fight the Covenant because up until this point, he was fighting humans. He's fighting a inferior force. He's fighting regular people who are not even military trained. They're just renegades. They're pirates and they're rebels, and this is like fighting the rebel alliance. This is like if this is like taking Darth Vader and putting him against the Rebel Alliance. What happens? Well, Darth Vader like murders 40 of them with a single snap of his fingers. Okay, it's not a fair fight. But against the Covenant, well, a Spartan, that's nothing. Spartans die all the fucking time. The Sangheili, they're more than prepared. They're base warrior. They're regular ass average Joe. Sangheili is enough to go toe to toe with Master Chief. Okay, they were born warriors. They were bred warriors. They just live to fight. Okay, the Spartan children, the Spartan twos are they're taken as a young age as a child, and they're kind of given this Spartan culture, so to speak. That's explicitly because they had to be, because that otherwise they just weren't going to have a chance against anybody realistically in terms of the known galaxy. Because here's the thing, they were more meant to deal with humanity's militias, and that much is true. However, the thing about that is in the back of the humanity's mind, they're like, well, what's one of humanity's biggest threats? Oh, it's the Sangheili, and they kind of have a Spartan culture. Let's copy that. Because here's the thing, we might one day have to fight them again. It would be nice to have a group of guys who not only can quell rebel uprisings and pirates, but it'd be nice to have them be able to maybe go toe to toe with the Sangheili. And this is a time period where there's advanced technology, but there's luxury comforts and things, and that just makes soft people. Okay, it's not the Spartans. The Spartans, they lived in a brutal time. They've proven that they were more brutal. And, everybody wants to be a Spartan until they have to do this. Okay, because yes, the Spartans, did some incredibly gay things. They weren't too concerned about that. They were thick skinned and they really didn't give a flying fuck what you think about them. And, you know, how you slap your child for swearing. They would beat their child for not swearing, for not being sarcastic, and for not being an asshole. It's called laconic phrasing. They were just fucking tough. Okay, the children of the Spartan 2 programs, not really. They weren't just fucking tough from a young age. They weren't sarcastic and witty little assholes. They weren't born in that society. They were born in a normal ass society. They were born in a pretty decent childhood and then fucking abducted and replaced with like cancer clones, which is kind of fucked up. Okay. So with that in mind, the even though they had kind of a similar upbringing, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. So we take that Master Chief. Let's say for a better part, we take Halo 2 Master Chief or Halo 3 Master Chief, however you want to put that. We take that Master Chief and put him in the shoes. I think he probably would have done the same thing as Noble Six. He would have appealed to the Covenant's need to destroy a symbol. He would have appealed to this thing. But here's the problem: is he's not a symbol in this case. He's not known yet. He's not as feared yet. He's none of these things. They would have looked at that and they would have been like, oh, look, it's another Spartan. They would just glass the planet anyways. So he doesn't have time to get to the bunker. And he can't even get to the one bunker that probably would save his life because it's cut off. He can't go on a ship. And he can't really convince the Covenant to come down and fight him because, well, he's just some regular ass Spartan. They kill hundreds of them every day. So he wouldn't even get the final stand. He wouldn't even get the time of day. Here's the other thing is Cortana is what kind of guides him to be this amazing thing. Cortana is this AI that rounds out everything that, makes him be. If he wasn't on the ship with Cortana and he wasn't selected by Cortana and he was on Reach, he doesn't have all the things that make him so good in Halo 2 or even Halo 1. Cortana does a lot of things. She gives him, she gives him a mini map. She gives him, battle data. She's giving him constant information. She can manipulate his suit. She can, make his suit do certain things. She can spike up his adrenaline if it need be. If he's a little depressed, she can pump up his dopamine. She can do all these amazing different things. She can enhance his bionics. She can adjust. She can fine tune everything about him mid combat, and that makes him really fearsome. Okay, but she's not with him on Reach. Okay, so he's just every other Spartan, and when he's every other Spartan, well, the Covenant, they've killed every other Spartan. Killing Spartans to them is not a big deal. Now, the only Spartan team that's really a big deal is the Noble team, because Noble team, here's the thing, what makes them so special compared to other Spartans, they come back alive from every fucking mission. They get stress test from, bullshit missions, and they still come back. And Noble team being sent out is not a big, it's not just something to gloss over. Noble team being sent out is, we think there's an entire rebel base and we need them completely exterminated. They're fucking pest control. Okay, you send in like one or two, Spartans to like lead in a team of USNC and quell a rebel uprising or something in like a small, battlefield or skirmish, normal things. You send in Noble team
to absolutely wipe out everyone and everything. They're a death squad. Okay, Emile was selected for two things. He was selected because, one, he's the best at what he does. But the second reason why he's selected is he absolutely hates militias. He absolutely hates rebels and pirates because his parents were murdered by a militia. Okay. And he's got that ingrained in the back of his mind. Okay. At all times. He hates them so goddamn much that he takes out his anger on his helmet and he carves a fucking skull onto the face of his helmet. He probably can't see shit out of that thing. But he absolutely hates militias. He's got a hardline thing. Cat, she didn't lose an arm to the Covenant. She lost like an arm and I think a leg too, if I remember correctly. No, she lost that to a militia. She absolutely hates militias. Okay. All of these characters were selected on to be on Noble Team, not only because they were the best at what they did, because they have an absolute reason to hate rebels and militias. They will not falter on orders when orders might have a moral dilemma. And the only one who's not like that is George. And George has actually every reason to hate as well. However, he's more cool headed. And he's actually really good at talking to locals and figuring out real quickly whether or not they are militia or not militia. He's really fucking intimidating, but he's also kind of like the big friendly giant. And so he's super helpful in that regard. Uh, you know, in Noble Six, well, he was known for running around being a lone wolf to what exactly? Oh, slaughter militias by himself, just whole entire, like skirmishes all by himself. He would just run off and just annihilate people. Okay, so he's obviously got some clear hate of militias. Now you look at Master Chief, not really. He just kind of, Halsey was like, I'm just going to throw my son in the Spartan program for no reason. And it's just like, oh wow, my son ended up being the best one of all. you know, uh, not really, doesn't really have a reason to hate militias. So he wouldn't have even been selected for Noble Team, even if he was better than Noble Six. Uh, and he's not. That's the other thing. He's not. But all the members of Noble Team, here's the other last little tidbit. They have access to special data that Master Chief at this time would not have access to. They have access to weapons and equipment. They have access to everything available. They have access to training and all these other things, unique, specialized training. Master Chief didn't have access to the training that they had access to. He just wasn't as important. And Noble Team, Noble Six is so important that when they show up, it's expected of you to obey their authority without question. And Six Team, Noble Team, when they show up, and even Spartans follow their orders. And when Master Chief is considered rogue in one of the Halo games, who do they send? They send the new Noble Team. Because they're supposed to be fucking, this thing that even Master Chief would bow down to their authority. However, at this point, Master Chief is, he's an old grizzled veteran by this time. He's an unstoppable force of skill and experience that even a Noble Team can't stop. He's beyond them. But that came with, basically fighting, two Covenant wars. The first war being the events of Halo 1, 2, and 3. And also, having defeated the Didact. Okay. He's basically survived two major, like, humanity wiping extermination wars. He's just unstoppable at this point. During Reach, not really. He's not an old grizzled veteran. He's actually kind of a young, cocky asshole who's just received an AI that will hopefully bring him more in line with what he should become. And it does. Now, this Noble team having these tools and assets and abilities, you know, that's the other thing is who do the Covenant send knowing that they might run into Noble team? They send their absolute best every single time. And when they send their best and that doesn't work, then they send an entire fucking army. They send an entire fucking legion. And when that doesn't work, that's when they get ready to glass the planet. See, Noble team's the absolute best of the best, and the Covenant send their absolute best of the best. And the only thing that the Covenant don't send is an Arbiter, because right around this time they don't have an Arbiter, because, well, the Arbiter ran off to stop the Great Journey, and he became the renegade that you kill in Halo 2, and that the current Arbiter kills in Halo 2. You know, that Arbiter, okay? And they couldn't send him even if they wanted to, but they wouldn't have sent him because they were afraid they would lose an Arbiter. And an Arbiter does the same thing as Noble Team does. It's a one-person thing, just like, you know, Noble Team's a six-person thing. Noble Team, you send them when you have an impossible mission that you absolutely cannot fail. And you keep them handy when it's an impossible mission that you absolutely cannot fail. The Arbiter, same exact thing. So, to put in perspective, we have a team of 6 Spartans that are equal to 1 Arbiter. Well, actually, more like it's a 6. It's like SEAL Team 6 with 6 Arbiters on it. Okay, the Covenant don't want to send an Arbiter, even though that's probably the most equal response, because they're scared that they might lose an Arbiter. They weren't afraid of losing the Halo Ring. They weren't afraid of losing all of their special forces. They weren't afraid of losing a ship that can glass an entire planet. They weren't afraid of losing those things. They're afraid of losing an Arbiter. Okay, that explains to you just how valuable an Arbiter really truly is. Now, that also explains to you just how powerful each member of Noble Team is. The Covenant feel like that if they send an Arbiter against Noble Team, that they're probably going to lose an Arbiter. You know, and losing an Arbiter is not an acceptable loss, no matter what. In fact, it's such a catastrophic thing to lose that they literally have to create another Arbiter to go kill an Arbiter. So, Arbiters, big fucking deal. Noble Team, big fucking deal. Master Chief, fucking nobody. Literally nobody. The situation. You can't hide from the Covenant because they'll just glass the planet. You can't surrender to the Covenant because they'll just execute you. And if they don't execute you, the alternative is worse than dying. You can't hide in a bunker because you can't get to one. You can't get off planet because everybody else has already left. The only people that are left are the dead, the dying, the hiding, and we're talking, and the captured. That's it. So, in other words, no, you cannot and you will not and you absolutely should not survive Halo Reach. And here's the other thing, even if you did, really doesn't make a difference. unless you're, Master Chief and you go on to win the first of many battles against the Covenant on, the ring. But in Halo Reach, if you go on to survive and you can't follow Master Chief and go fight in the ring, what does it matter? So, you're gonna what? Either wander around in space or meet Master Chief or get captured. One of those three what ifs. Assuming you can even get off planet, which you can't. And all that does accomplishes nothing because you're not inspiring humanity with like one final stand or anything. You're not putting fear into the Covenant. The Covenant are just going to look at that as like an absolute victory. Okay, there's nothing. So if you're in Noble Six's shoes, the best thing to do is make one final stand, and in doing so, the Covenant kind of still whisper about you in hushed whispers, even after you're dead, and are still afraid. And humanity's really inspired, so much so that they go back to a completely dead planet that's completely glassed. And I mean literally glassed. Like they destroy everything so much that it's glass. God damn. Allergies. Making me itchy. With all of that, even if you could survive Halo Reach, which you cannot, there's absolutely no way. There's, at this point, no reason to. Because surviving Reach either guarantees a slow death or guarantees that you're another slow death. Because wandering around in space in the Halo universe in a Falcon or something is a slow death to starvation. Those ships don't have cryo freeze or anything. You're stuck with nothing but bad options. Might as well take the one that makes you look like a fucking badass Chad. And that's why, too, Noble Six is kind of the biggest Chad in the Halo universe. Well, Email's kind of an edgelord Chad, but still a pretty big Chad. I mean, he's the only guy who survived Reach, who didn't flee Reach, so that's kind of a big deal. And plus, I mean, Noble Six didn't survive being stabbed in the chest, whereas Email survived being stabbed in the chest and almost ripped in half. So, kind of a big deal.